Yeah, we shall be looking at a topic in mathematics that is so common in so many fields of study, quadratic equations. Before we proceed, let's look at the lesson objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to solve quadratic equations using the principle that if A times B equals 0, then either A equals 0 or B equals 0, or both A and B are 0. 2. You should be able to use factorization method to solve quadratic equations. Now, the vocabularies that you are going to come across, we have equation, the quadratic equation, factorization, roots of an equation, quadratic expressions. Now let's start the basis. A quadratic equation is an equation whose highest power is 2. So anytime you have a quadratic equation whose highest power is 2, is termed the 2 here. That is quadratic equation. General equation: ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 2, where a is non-zero. Now we have 4 methods basically for solving quadratic equation. We have the first one, factorization method. We have the graphical method. We have completing the square method. Then we have the formula method. We shall be starting with factorization method in this edition. A quadratic equation can be solved by factorizing and using the principle of zero product. That is, if AB equals 0, then A equals 0. That means you will take A to be equal to 0, then you also take B to be equal to 0. Then either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0, or both A and B equals to 0. So note that. Now solve bracket 4y plus 1, bracket 3y minus 5. Using the same principle that we have before, the same principle. The first thing you do is to take all these things to be equals to 0. Then you take all this one also to be equals to 0. Now let's look at it in terms. Look at this. Note that the equation given is of the form AB equals to 0. Set each factor equal to 0 and then you solve it. For example, 4y plus 1 equals to 0. Subtract 1 from both sides, as in take 1 to the other side. So we have 4y equals to minus 1. Then divide both sides by 4. The first answer for y will be minus 4. Now taking the second one, 3y minus 5 equals 0. That means what? Add 5 to both sides. That's it, take minus 5 to the other side. So we have 3y equals to 5. Divide both sides by 3, such that y equals to 5 over 3. And the answers will now be y equals to either 1 over 4 or 5 over 3. Now let's look at the second one. The second one is not like the first one. This one is like exactly like the normal quadratic equation that you always see. Now look at this. X squared plus 7x plus 6. The first thing to do is to multiply the coefficient of x squared, which is 1 here, times 6, and that will give us 6. So the next thing you do is now to look for factors of 6, which is 6 times 1 is 6, such that when you add them together, you get 7. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So you can quickly open the bracket x plus, open the bracket x plus, close the bracket. So the answer becomes x plus 6, x plus 1. Then equate it to be equal to 0. Follow the same number again where we have AB equals to 0. That becomes x plus 6 equals 0, and that is minus 6. X plus 1 equals 0. That is x equals to minus 1. And that is minus 6 and minus 1. That is the end of section 1.